What's up guys, welcome back to Bake It Better. In today's video we are going to be making the school bake sale classic, the cupcake. Now, don't let its simplicity fool you. As easy as cupcakes can be, they're a great way to practice your mixing, scaling, folding, piping, all without worrying too much about the final result. Instead of a traditional yellow cake, we'll be making an egg foam cake today, just to spice things up. So, let's get baking. So to start, we have a pot with some simmering water in it. Into it goes our stand mixer bowl. Next we'll add our eggs, yolks, and our sugar. We'll whisk this all together until it's nice and foamy. We want the mixture to reach 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. If you don't have a thermometer, you can dip your finger in the mixture and see if you can feel any sugar granules that haven't dissolved yet. Once you can't feel any granules left, you can remove it from the heat. Once the temperature has been reached, remove from the heat and place on your mixer with the whisk attachment. Whip on high speed. Once you can see that the eggs aren't rising up the bowl any longer, reduce the speed to medium and let whip for 10 minutes to stabilize the foam. Once the mixing is done, remove from the machine. I'm going to transfer it to a large bowl just so you can see what I'm doing, but I wouldn't recommend it. We need to keep this as fluffy as possible. Next, we can sift in our flour. Gently fold the flour into the eggs. As you may have noticed, there is no chemical leavener like baking soda or baking powder in this recipe. All of the height that the cake is going to get is going to be created by the egg foam, so you have to try a little tenderness when it comes to mixing it. Once the flour is folded in, we can take our melted butter and vanilla and mix a small amount of the batter into it. We do this because we need the butter to have some aeration before we can fold it into the batter. If we were to pour it straight into the batter, it would sink to the bottom and it would be incredibly difficult to fold in without deflating the whole batter. Once the butter is at a more agreeable density, we can then fold it into the batter. Once the batter is ready, we need to work quickly to get it into the pan and to bake it. I have these nifty silicone baking cups, so I'll just place these into my muffin cups. Using the big scoop, we'll fill the liners up about 3/4 of the way. Place these in an oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. While the cupcakes are baking, we can work on our buttercream icing. We made this icing in a previous episode of Bake It Better. When working with buttercream, especially out of the fridge, we need to soften it up as all the butter in it will have solidified. So into our stand mixer, with a paddle attachment, we'll break it up over low speed. Now, this is a tool I don't imagine you will have, and that's okay, but I use a torch to heat up the sides of the bowl to soften the butter. You can use a hot cloth around the bowl, or even a tea light or a small candle underneath the bowl to provide some heat. Just be sure your mixer is moving fast enough to allow the heat to be spread out. Whatever your method ends up being, make sure you scrape down often to ensure that all of the butter is being softened. Keep heating and scraping until you get back to that beautiful soft buttercream. I'm going to take a small amount of the buttercream in a small bowl and pour in some of the toffee sauce that we made in the sticky toffee pudding video. We can mix that through completely. In another bowl, I'll take some more icing and mix in some melted chocolate. I would recommend either a blend of milk and dark or just straight dark. Milk chocolate is a lot more fluid, so the buttercream may end up being too soft. At the end of the baking time, you can test to see if the cakes are ready by placing a thin knife in the center of the cupcakes. If it comes out clean, they're ready. Once out of the oven, allow to cool for 15 minutes in the pan, and then turn out onto a cooling rack to cool fully. So we have our 3 buttercreams in 3 piping bags. When piping, you want to use your dominant hand's palm to gently squeeze the bag, while using your other hand to guide. Starting with the toffee sauce, I'll just do a large rosette on these two. Next, for the chocolate, I'm just going to pipe a large mound. And lastly, for the vanilla, just some simple spirals. And here we are, guys, these simple cupcakes using a not so simple recipe. I hope you give them a try next time you're craving some sweet treats. As always, you can find a copy of my recipe in the description below. Thank you for watching. I'll meet you back here in my kitchen for the next episode. I'll see you then.